Hello, my amazing Algebra 1/2 students. This is Mrs. A, and I love math. We are doing lesson 5 today on our Saxon Blue Book, and it is about addition and subtraction word problems. And I love word problems because I like puzzles, and I like to figure things out. And of course, we all like words. So word problems are just kind of like puzzles with words. So when we're looking at a word problem, we want to figure out what is the pattern. You will see the word pattern in your book at the top of page 17. We're trying to find the pattern. And there's some words that help us to think about what kind of an operation are we going to do? Are we going to do addition? Are we going to do subtraction? So some of the words they give you are some and then some more. Like something is being added, then you would, of course, use addition. If you had a problem and something went away, like you had something and then part of it went away, that would be a subtraction problem. And if you have the words how much greater or how much less, that would be a subtraction problem also. So we have some examples here. So I'm going to read it to you. Example 5:1 says, the Duke measured it and got 5,260. Then the Count measured it and got 4,720. How much greater is the Duke's measurement? So up there at the top paragraph, they said how much greater means that we're going to subtract the two quantities, doesn't it? So here we have the problem, the subtraction problem written down for us here. So because it said how much greater, we're going to subtract the two numbers that they gave us in the problem. And then, of course, we can practice our subtraction that we talked about in the last lesson. 0 minus 0 is 0. 6 minus 2 is 4. And then we need to borrow, don't we? So we'll come over here, take 1 away, 12, take away 7 is 5, and 4 take away 4 is just 0. So 540, and we call the answer to a subtraction problem the difference. But because of our problem, we would say, how much greater was the question? Well, 540 greater. And there's your problem. Now, let's look at the next one. And the next problem says, 417 birds were in the trees at 8 o'clock. By 9 o'clock, the number had increased to 942. How many birds came between 8 and 9 o'clock? Okay, so we have a storyboard here. We had 417 birds at 8 o'clock. And then by 9 o'clock, we have 942 birds. Now, we don't know how many were added here. Here's our missing number. But remember when we did our missing number section, if we had a missing number in the middle, could not we just undo the problem? Remember, this is an addition problem. 417 plus something is 942. So then we could start and say, well, 942 is the big number. It's the altogether number. So couldn't we subtract? And remember, if we take 942 minus 417, we will get that number that's missing. So let's set up that subtraction here. So now I put the big number on the top, and then the only other number I have available is 417. And when I do this math, I will get the answer that goes there. So let's do the math. 2 take away 7. I'm going to have to borrow. So I come over here and say, hey, Mr. 4, may I borrow one of your 10s? And then you take the 10 over there and you put it on the 2. 12 minus 7 is 5. 3 minus 1 is 2. 9 minus 4 is 5. So this number here should be 525. Let's check and make sure. 7 plus 5 is 12. Carry your 1. 1 and 1 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. It works. And that is problem number 2. Then we go to problem number 3. And problem number 3 says that at sunrise, there were many ducks on the pond. Then 425 ducks flew away. 642 ducks remained on the pond. How many ducks were on the pond at sunrise? Okay, so at sunrise, there were many ducks on the pond. Then 425 flew away. So that's a takeaway, isn't it? A minus. And we were left with 642 on the pond. So we have many ducks minus 425 is 642, and we're looking for how many ducks was many ducks. So how are we going to do this? Something minus 425 is 642. So this is the big number, isn't it? This is our altogether number. Could we undo the subtraction with addition? Since they're inverse operations, could we say 642 plus 425 is how many we had? Okay, so we'll erase our words here. And then we'll say 642 plus, because we know addition and subtraction undo each other. So then when I add those together, 2 plus 5 is 7. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 4 is 10. And then our mini seems to be 1,067. Okay, so we're going to put it up there and we're going to check it. So 7 take away 5 is 2. That works. 6 take away 2 is 4. That works. 10 take away 4 is 6. And we are doing very well, aren't we? This lesson is lots of fun. I love word problems. So we have 3 more, and then you get to do some word problems. So let's look at 5.4 example. It says George had 542 marbles. Then his friend gave him some marbles. Now he has 965 marbles. How many marbles did his friend give him? Okay, so he started with 542 marbles, and then his friend gave him some more marbles, and now he has 965 marbles. So we have to find out how many did his friend give him. So we have the altogether number. Since this is addition, this is the biggest number. Okay, so it's our altogether number. So could we find out the answer by subtraction? And when we did the subtraction, we would have what? 965 take away 542. Okay, so let's do the math and then we'll check it. So 5 minus 2 is 3. 6 minus 4 is 2. 9 minus 5 is 4. That means she found, the friend gave her 542 more. 540. Oops. Excuse me. I said that one. I meant this one, 423. Sorry about that. So now let's check the 423 and see if it was the right number. So 2 plus 3 is 5. 4 plus 2 is 6. 5 plus 4 is 9. And we have correctly found the number that was added. Now, I want you to get a piece of paper out, because as I read you the problem, we're going to be doing practices A and B in your book. As I read you the problem, I want you to try to write down the important information and see if it looks something like what I write for you at the end of the problem. I'm going to wait and let you write it down first, because I want you to practice writing out the little equation. Okay, now because I'm having you do it, I'm going to read you the problem twice. So this is on page 18, and the first problem, A, says hundreds of knights came to the tournament. Then 420 knights went home. 756 knights remained. How many knights came to the tournament? Okay, I'm going to read it one more time, and I'm going to see if you can set it up on your piece of paper before you see my answer. I want to see if you can get there by yourself. All right, one more time. Hundreds of knights came to the tournament. Then 420 knights went home. 756 knights remained. How many knights came to the tournament? Okay, now if you haven't had a chance to do it, I want you to stop the video right now and finish that problem by yourself. Page 18, practice A. I want you to give it a shot all the way through before you listen to the answer. So pause your video right now and finish it up, and then come back and see if you got the answer right. Pause your video, please. Here we go with the answer. Hundreds of knights came to the tournament. They didn't tell us how many, so I just put hundreds, and I put a little question mark showing me this is my question on the problem. Hundreds came. The second sentence says, then 420 knights went home. So that means we're going to subtract 420 went. And then lastly, it says 756 knights remained. 756 knights remained. How many knights came to the tournament? So we're looking for how many were the hundreds. Okay, so now we've got a subtraction problem. So isn't this our big number? Here's our altogether number. And then we're subtracting this and we're getting this. What if we turned it around and made it an addition problem and said 756 plus 420 is going to give us the hundreds, isn't it? Okay, so 6 plus 0 is 6. 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 plus 4 is 11. So 1,176. So we're going to put 1,176 right there. And now we're going to subtract to check. 6 minus 0 is 6. 7 minus 2 is 5. 11 minus 4 is 7. All right, so if you got that problem right, before you saw my answer, I want you to say, yippee-yay! Really loud so Mom can hear it. Go ahead. Here is our last practice problem. And again, I want you to do this on your own before you look at the way I solve it. So I'm going to read it to you twice. This is B on page 18. Rita had 9,035 items in her basement. So you're writing this down on a piece of paper, right? Then she found some more items. Now she has 10,081 items. How many items did she find? Now we're going to read it again, and you should be writing this information down in the same way you think I'm going to write it on the board. Rita had 9,035 items in her basement. Then she found some more items. Now she has 10,081 items. How many items did she find? Okay, so you're going to write your information down, and then you're going to pause your video so that you can do the problem, and then don't come back until you have your answer and you've checked it. And then I'll see you in a minute. Here is the answer format. Okay, we haven't worked it yet. So 9,035 to start with, and then found some more and wound up with 10,081. So we have an addition problem, which we can undo with a subtraction problem. So we'll start with our big number, 10,081, minus the only other number we have, 9,035 leaves us what? And this number here will be how many she found. Okay, so this one we knew. I don't know why I circled that one. This is the one we're looking for. How many more did she find? So now let's do this one over here. We've got 1 take away 5. We're going to have to borrow. So we come over here and we make it a 7 and we make that an 11. So 11 take away 5 is 6. 7 take away 3 is 4. 0 take away 0 is 0. 10 take away 9 is 1. Okay, so 1,046. So let's check it. Instead of found some here, let's plug in. This is our little answer here. 1,046. Let's see if it's right. 5 plus 6 is 11. Carry the 1. 1 plus 3 plus 4 is 8. 0 plus 0 is 0. 9 plus 1 is 10. And that works out. So this one is the correct answer. She found 1,046 more items. And we have thoroughly covered our word problems. And I hope you will do a very good job on your homework. And this is Mrs. A. And may God bless your day.